Hello, my name's Lindy Cowling. Welcome to my channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk, email info@lindycowling.co.uk, and the title of this short video is Body Consciousness Blips. Body Consciousness Blips. So I didn't expect to be on here today, and I may just record this short video and one more, and then I won't be on camera till the second week in June because I'm on vacation from Monday for a couple of weeks in America, and by the time I get back I'll have jet lag probably for 3 or 4 days anyway, so I won't be on camera then. So that may be why I feel so driven to get on here now. Because I don't plan to come on here. It's a bit like a writer when they've got this urge to write, or an artist that has this urge to create some art. It's like that. I get this impetus, this drive, and I kind of drop everything and then do it then. So body consciousness blips. I myself personally have experienced this, and as you know, this is an experiential channel, which means what I share is from my experience personally and professionally, the experiences of my clients, so both aspects there. Certainly I have been feeling, and certainly the clients I have been working with over the last week or so have been feeling this increase in energy, this increase in intensity, and this increase in an inner and outer pressure. Now, where I brought out a video a few weeks ago called the Schumann resonance one, to do with the heartbeats and the heartbeat, the pulse really of the earth. That's heartbeat or pulse has continued to climb, and I think it was in the 150s just a few days ago, which in the time since I brought that video out, when it was around 90 then, was unprecedented, and now it's still going up and up and up. So I feel that some of the pressure we are feeling is in relation to that, and our direct link in terms of wave band, frequency, vibration, and electromagnetically with the earth or Gaia, we are feeling it. Now, I personally, I know it's challenging because I can feel that pressure too, and it's like, it's crazy really. There's not enough hours in the day. It doesn't matter how early you get up or how late you go to bed. There are literally not enough hours in the day, and you can feel that intensity and everything getting faster and faster and faster, like an elastic band about to snap. What I would say is I personally feel there's a few reasons for that. I feel some of the reasons are, let's call it natural, orchestrated by Gaia, orchestrated by global consciousness, orchestrated by the helpful aspects around us, the helpful energies around us, to keep pushing us through, birthing us through into these upper, higher states of consciousness, of integrated consciousness, of super consciousness, of the integration between the heart and mind, and heart taking the lead, all of these things. I also feel that there is an element of disruption, so not so helpful outside energies, mucking around with frequencies to try and disrupt things and to try and cause extra pressure, you know, with these geophysical basically weapons which manipulate frequency and wave bands and vibrations. I think there is an element of that going on as well. So I truly feel the two things are going on. I personally feel very excited about what is happening here, because even with any outside interference that is promoting things there, what is happening is the energy is still going the right way, which is very exciting, which means people are being pushed through to these upper stages of consciousness. The flip side of it is that intensity and pressure is also being felt by people on a linear level or third dimensional level, and that is like an elastic band being stretched and about to snap. That is pushing them so that they are snapping very, very quickly, and a lot of stuff is coming up for people and they are just losing it. They're just losing the plot because they are also feeling it, and everybody's feeling it, but you're feeling it according to what level of consciousness and perception you're at. So, but you're still feeling it. So it's an intensity. I personally find it a kind of excitement. It's a kind of excitement, like something is coming, that something is coming. Now, I personally feel what is coming is the full embodiment and awakening to ourselves, like many of us start to step into our mastery. And I also feel that that involves outer circumstance change, because the inner circumstance comes first, always the micro, then the macro. I also feel that this will mirror as the summer goes on and as the year goes on in outer global events. No surprise there. I mean, they're kind of already happening. And when you have massive shifts in consciousness and awakening like this, it is inevitable. When you have these tiny little implosions going on in people of awakening of consciousness, of merging of the masculine and feminine within them, of ascensions, happening in people, of people going up a gear, into these higher states of consciousness, the heart taking the lead, all of these things, then you are going to, when you have that happening on a grand scale, that is going to show on the outside because of the connection to all that is. Consciousness being connected, interconnected, and our consciousness being connected to that of the planet and vice versa. It is going to show. You're going to get that inside and you're going to get that outside. So I feel that there is a lot of excitement around that and a lot of energy around that. And I can feel it too. So I feel very excited about it because I can feel it and sense it. And I know a lot of my clients are feeling the same, and they are interpreting it almost the same as I am, and even sometimes using the same words, feeling it building up and up and up, and they feel like, so it's just going to go boom, it's going to go like an elastic band, snap. And it's your interpretation of what snap is, really. A leaping consciousness into one's own mastery. Do I think some snap, that's an element of snap, will go on outside around us? I think it's inevitable, but not in a scary, not to scare people or anything. I think it's inevitable that when there is massive consciousness change in people, there is massive change of people's reality outside of that. I mean, that kind of goes with the turf. Why I've called this body consciousness blips, not blips in a negative way, but one of the main things that are really coming online now is our bodies. And it sounds a funny thing to say because, of course, we're in our bodies. But for so many of us, we weren't really present in our bodies for many years, and I definitely wasn't. And it's only been the last couple of years that I've been fully grounded, anchored and present and becoming the embodiment in my body, and not woo-woo and in la-la land out there. What I would say is, as our body consciousness is fully coming online now, because we are at a stage where we are integrating multiple levels of consciousness now, which have become the embodiment. So no longer is it outside of us, but we are getting to have the awareness that it is inside of us. And that is coming into embodiment and the beginning steps of coming into your own mastery. So the body consciousness, I personally feel, is the most tricky, because that's where you get all the entanglement with the mental body, the pain body, the emotional body, and the body being, in some ways, the most physical, tangible, physical part of us. It almost seems it's been in a long line to integrate. So when you are going up through stages of consciousness, the body and the mind has its own perception on this. And it's interesting because I always felt that the body responded to the instructions and directions from the mind, and that is only true to a certain point. The body has a consciousness also of its own, just to complicate things. So the body has an interesting interpretation of things, because if we've come in via the old wiring, and I've said this on camera before, there are some people here that haven't come in through the old wiring, the old 3D linear level. They've already come in on a much higher level, and they're not being upgraded and rebooted and rewired in the same way and coming online in the same way. But through the old wiring, and I come through the old wiring, I call it the long way round, and I've come the long way round too, like the majority of people actually. When the body consciousness is coming online like this, and it gets the message that there is a huge transformation taking place, an inner transformation taking place that is going to lead to an outer transformation. The body seems to be the last to get the message, and as it comes online, it is literally physically trying to transform the messages and the matter. And I have had so many people say to me how uncomfortable physically they're finding the process. And I understand that fully, because I am also finding it incredibly physically uncomfortable. Yes, I do have a history of chronic pain syndromes, fibromyalgia, ME. I've been in an immense amount of pain in the last week or so, physical pain. And places that I don't normally get it, and unusual sorts of pains as well, around the eyes, in the eye sockets, my teeth. I've got it all over, bones and muscles anyway. Body shape is doing weird and wonderful things, and even I'm getting a couple of really weird readings that I've never had before on medical readings as well, where things are altering, and in fact different readings coming out from one side of the body to the other, which makes me smile, because I'm not the least bit surprised there. I have a constant thing of rebalancing masculine and feminine, left to right, and I get all my psychic information in from the left, so that doesn't surprise me at all. But this, in a way, it's not surprising, because if we're upgrading from carbon based into sort of light body, crystalline body, and kind of even beyond that, really, because even when I say that, to me, it's funny, it sounds a bit old hat. It really sounds a bit old hat, me saying that. I feel that that's even too limited, and we're going up into I don't really know what to call it. I would sort of like gamma states, or quantum body, really. The body consciousness, at first it doesn't know what the heck's going on, because it knows that some huge transformation is taking place, and it's like, well, the body is so affected by our thoughts and our feelings and our programs and our beliefs, and it's the slowest thing to get the message, or the slowest thing to transform. And then it thinks, what the hell is going on here? Because the consciousness is changing. It gets the message that you're expanding rapidly. You're becoming more expansive, more dense, that the matter is changing. So a lot of people are suddenly puffing right up, bulking right up. It certainly went that way for me. Amongst other reasons, it's gone that way for me. And then almost to like the body gets the message, oh, I have to take up more space, to be vastly expanded. I have to be physically vast, before it gets the message again, no, I can be a bit like the TARDIS, like you're looking quite small on the outside and then infinite amount of space within. Oh, that's the way I would describe it, before it gets the message. So it's really, really interesting. Now, I can only comment from coming through the old wiring system and being upgraded and going the long way round. But then I think I speak for the majority of people, because probably 2/3 of humanity are coming through the old wiring. The young generations are coming in already wired differently to us, already accessing, and won't have to go this old way round of upgrading. And there are certain people, again, who are already here who won't. So obviously, if you're someone that's experiencing unusual body symptoms, and I'm experiencing ones that are unusual for me as well. Unusual body sensations, unusual pains, unusual changes to what you want to eat or don't want to eat, and all these kind of things. To a certain extent, I would say go with it. If you are unduly worried, obviously contact someone that's qualified, a medical practitioner. It's interesting because most people that go down that route, occasionally things show up, almost like incidentally. But most of the time, all their results come back as absolutely normal or unusual, but nobody can figure out why they're unusual, which is mine's come back a little bit unusual on a couple of things, which didn't panic me at all, because I know that how can I sit there and say to someone in the medical profession what's happening, because they just probably lock me up and throw away the key. So I just smiled to myself and thought, well, yeah, I think I know what that is. And again, like I say, if you're unduly worried, go get yourself checked out while you're going, if you are in considerable amount of discomfort while you're going through parts of these changes. I have heard it said by some people, but the people I've heard it said by haven't come through the old system. They're already wired in a different blueprint, and they're already wired at a different level and didn't come the long way round. I've heard it said to, oh no, people only are feeling painful sensations if they are fighting it or resisting, or they're blocked, or they've got karma and all that baloney. Absolutely not true. If you've got the old wiring, it's like rewiring a house, an electrician coming in and rewiring a house, and changing things over. If the body consciousness gets the message last, so it doesn't understand at first, thinks, what the hell is going on here? It's almost like you have to reassure yourself via your mind reassuring your body that it's actually a natural process, that you're not under attack, that you're not under threat, that these changes are all kind of natural, and kind of work with the body there. One thing I think might help, because I'm only saying this because it came to me a couple of days ago. And again, I think it came to me a couple of days ago because this is a stage that I'm at. But it's also connected with the masculine, the divine masculine, and the divine feminine within, and the divine masculine and the divine feminine without. It's connected with that, and I know it's connected with that. And I got the very strong visualization and impression of, because I link in with Christ level consciousness. I've said that before. That's my entry point to upper states of consciousness. That's the doorway I choose to go through. Not everybody will. That's my personal one. And when I was linking in, I do my daily linking in for 5 minutes every day. I got the really strong impression of a robe being put around my shoulders, linked in with Christ consciousness energy. So when I'm saying that, I don't mean it in a religious context. What I mean is kind of a Jeshua kind of energy. And I interpret through my own filter, because I'm not religious at all. I don't even own a copy of the Bible. In fact, I'll tell you a little story about the Bible. When I was a little girl, they used to give them out at school, and I took home a copy of it. And at the age of 9, it shows you what an odd kid I was. At the age of 9, I was already reinterpreting the Bible and linking it to star beings. So I would pick out certain things and say, well, that's spacecraft, or that's extraterrestrials. I didn't call them star beings when I was 9. I called them extraterrestrials or aliens. And had my first telescope when I was little. And actually, it was my brother's. I nicked my brother's. Looking out of the window, you know, actually crying when I was a little girl, wanting to go up to the stars. I think that was probably a memory there, linked with star beings. So I used to dissect the Bible and translate it into our link with star beings and extraterrestrials when I was 9, and that's truth, honest truth. So deviated off a bit there. So when I was talking about Christ consciousness here, I'm talking about my heart and love and spirit and spirit essence and spirituality connected in with the love of all of that template. So the love of humanity and the love and compassion for humanity and all of that side of it. I'm not putting it into religious context, but the perception and the filter that came through for me was, I have to say it as it is, and it's not just for me personally, so because I'm hoping this will help you as well, is that a robe was put around my shoulders, linked in with Jeshua consciousness. And something I will say about this again, before somebody watching this video says, "Oh my God, she now says Jesus has put his robe around her shoulders." If you track back on one of my earlier videos about 1.5 years ago, I was talking about archetypes, and I've continually referred over these last 3 years to archetypal energy and how there can be a confusion when we link into an archetypal consciousness, and then we can misinterpret it and feel that that consciousness is actually here with us, when in fact that consciousness is part of all that is, and we are linking into it at that time. And I'm not saying that the consciousness can't appear to people and doesn't appear to people and doesn't appear in different forms, but I think a lot of the time we link in with archetypes, tap into an archetypal conscious energy, and then we interpret it by our belief system or the filter that we have. So it doesn't really matter, because it's the way we interpret and also how it helps us to go up to upper rates of consciousness and what we can do with it. So I can use another example, and I've used this on camera before, like Michael Jackson. I've worked with musicians, and the consciousness of Michael Jackson has come through. And on a linear perspective, if you was a medium, you could tune into a certain level, and a medium could say, well, the spirit of Michael Jackson is here. But if you go from a multidimensional 5D perspective and upwards, you interpret it through a different filter, and you interpret that the consciousness of Michael Jackson can be dipped into by multiple musicians and performers. And there can be a collaborative effort where there is an influence of Michael Jackson's consciousness on the work of those musicians and vice versa, and it's a co-collaborative effort. So a linear mediumship perspective would be the spirit of Michael Jackson just rocked up and blah, 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 helped with this. And a non-linear, multidimensional perspective would be on the consciousness. It's quite tricky bridging between the two, and I can bridge between the two. I lean towards the upper states of consciousness because that is what I am becoming. But I can drop down to more linear perspective of looking as a medium because I came through that route. So I do know how to do it, and I'm able to do it. So the reason, again, I'm bringing that up is because, so there's not a misinterpretation of what I'm saying here. I'm giving this example as a compassionate, loving energy consciousness linked with our perception of Jeshua consciousness that is available at this time. If you are at that ready and willing to be available to that consciousness yourself, and at that level within yourself, that is supportive, that is healing, and it's also to do with that divine masculine and feminine balance. To do with that, that divine masculine and feminine balance, really, and all to do with that healing and coming into one's mastery. And I only bring it up because that's something that has been coming in as I've been linking in, which is very new, very different to me, also very moving. I always know it's legit when I receive through my heart. So when I receive through my heart, I just feel an outpouring of love, and huge love coming from me and huge love going to me, which is so beautiful and moving that, you know, tears roll down your cheeks because it is so beautiful. So I always know what I'm tapping into is legit consciousness, and I'm experiencing it that way because of that. So I'm not doing a woo-woo linking in from outside like that. It's different. I'm linking in. It's hard to explain it, but I know a lot of you are going to get it because it's happening to you. So what I would say to you is, if you experience great love and great compassion and great comfort, sometimes it is given in the form of symbols, and symbolically, I feel I immediately interpreted that the robe not being anything to do with a recognition or anything like that, but as a very comforting, nurturing, masculine, almost like embrace, alongside healing, balance, absolute love, coming from me and coming back to me. Why I'm bringing it up again is because I think it also links to the body consciousness, not just the last video I brought out on masculine and feminine, but that the robe also links to body consciousness, and it gives the body a way of not being, let's say, not being threatened by these vast changes that are going on within us. So it's almost like comforting the body and saying, yeah, this is you're being held in a loving embrace here. You might interpret it differently if you have something like that, and you might have something else, not a robe, something else. Often our consciousness, or we could call it our guides, and the levels that we work with that are all still part of us and elements of us and fractals of us and working with the fractals of us and yada yada yada, they will, if we ask, they will bring in aspects of helpful things symbolically. And often through the stages of my evolution, I've gone through different stages where it's been presented symbolically as a state of consciousness. When I brought out one called the Grail state, like the Holy Grail, the Grail state, as a state of consciousness. I think I brought out one or two like that. Can't remember now, so I brought out so many videos. I interpret everything at this stage through the eyes of states of consciousness. So it all comes from the heart. I don't come in and out of my heart anymore. The heart is in the lead all the time, regardless of what's happening. So the heart's in the lead, and everything else is following on through the filter of the heart. And I don't interpret anything now. That is, I do it all from the heart state of consciousness now. So I perceive everything that way. You know, I can't. I mean, it is what I am. I don't tune into it now. It is what I am. So I was going to make this into two different videos. I was going to make it into body consciousness blips, in case you are someone that's experiencing really weird things going on with your body, or a lot of pain with your body. And like I say, if you are unduly worried, go get yourself checked out by a medical practitioner. You're highly likely, I mean, you know, if you're worried, go get yourself checked out. Something might show up, or something incidental, but it's probably going to show up as either completely normal, or results they can't quite interpret because they're not quite sure themselves, because they probably haven't seen people being upgraded from carbon-based to crystalline to all these different, well, you know, quantum bodies sort of thing. They've probably never seen it before. So so I was going to just bring one out on that, and then I was going to bring one out just about the robe, but I think they're interconnected actually. It's all overlapping, so I've just chucked it all into this video. If it resonates with you and that's helpful, that's great news. And you know, if not, just like take it or leave it, really. Anyway, I think that will be the last video that I come out with for a few weeks now, I reckon, because we're into Wednesday already. It's all going so quickly. So on that note, I will love you and leave you. Once again, thank you for subscribing to this channel. Thank you for the lovely positive feedback. Thank you for the clients that come to me. I hope to see some of you at the Nova Sanctuary on June the 2nd in New York, if you can make it. And if not, until then, please take care of yourselves. Look after yourselves. Balance, balance, balance. Get into nature. Do those natural things to balance things out while it's building, building, building. And I'll see you guys again second week in June on camera, most likely. Until then, take care. Bye.